And we are back on another episode for Pain for Purpose podcast, where we talk a little bit about everything, about some personal development, self-growth, some challenges that we're going through, some wins that we've had, the ups and downs, the journey of life, fatherhood, you name it. I'll talk about some sports. We'll talk about everything on this podcast. But yeah, we're still getting our legs going, still running, trying to figure it all out. But hey, that's part of the process, is figuring it out. So recently I spoke on the idea of the power of choice, something that it's been on my heart again. And another great topic is the idea of fear and what it can do to you and how it can control your life. Man, fear, just a 4-letter word, but it holds so much power over people. It held so much power over me for such a long time. And fear comes in all shapes and sizes, different concepts, different limiting beliefs. Fear, man, it gets me nervous. Just thinking about my past fear and just the idea of what fear can do. It can cripple dreams. It can cripple growth. It can stop you from wanting to be better. It can stop you from improving yourself. Some of my fears was the fear of what others would think of me. Whether I wanted to pursue a different career, I didn't want to go to an event. Maybe I wanted to talk about something. Dress a certain way, whatever it may be. I always feared what others would think of me. I remember, to give you some examples, when I was in college, I would always, not always, there would be times when I didn't go to class because I was afraid of what others thought of me. Think about that. I mean, that was challenging. I wanted to learn. I was trying to grow. But yet I wouldn't go to school because I had so much fear. I would build up such a negative viewpoint on myself, cause some crazy anxiety, and I wouldn't go to class. So, fear, that's why when I talk about it, or I even think about it, it gives me the woo-woos. But yeah, fear of what others thought of me, like I said, and it just bred anxiety. It built it. To a point to where I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't want to be social. I would drink excessively because of fear of the idea of what others thought of me. And it limited my growth for a very long time until I made the choice to change that, right? And I still struggle with that. There's no question about it. When I'm in a new setting, or, I got something important to say at work, or even speak up and wherever that may be, I still have doubts and moments come across where, I fear what others think of me. But the idea of when I can let that go and trust myself and believe in myself, and to know that there's just a person on the other side who, they may have challenges too. They may have limiting beliefs and they may have fear themselves. So, fear. What's another way that fear consumed my life? Of not being the best, or not being good enough. Fear held me back because I had fear of not being good enough. And that just comes down to loving yourself. Simple. Appreciating the man in the mirror, appreciating the woman in the mirror, appreciating whoever is in that mirror looking back at you. Because that's who you are. That's who you are meant to be. And I'll touch base a lot. I'm still figuring that out, right? And that's part of my purpose, is to continuously challenge myself, continuously seek deep into who I am, my meaning, my beliefs, my core values, to try to figure out the best version of myself. That's part of my purpose. Taking that fear, that pain, and making it my purpose. My mission in that is to overcome fear. It's just a 4-letter word. It's just a concept. There's so many times that we get in our own heads and we we create this idea, this image of what could go wrong, what others are thinking, what shouldn't I do, how should I act, and that's just your thoughts, your mind taking control. It wants you to fear. Part of the brain, the mind's mechanism is to cause fear to keep you safe, right? It's a twisted concept that it doesn't want you to grow, really. It doesn't want to challenge you. It doesn't like it when you're in uncomfortable situations, or when you're in danger. So fear is a mechanism for your brain to hold you back, right? To keep you in check, and you got to push through it. And that's something for me that once I started some momentum, once I started building some habits to combat my fear, it was just a little bit by little bit, taking action, getting over that fear. Because it can stop everything. It can stop dreams. It can stop goals. It can stop you from going to say hi to somebody. It can stop you from experiencing a great opportunity. It can stop you from going to school and trying to learn, right? Just think about how crazy that is. I think back to it now, and man, I wish I could go back and talk to that 20-year-old kid and say, buddy, it's just fear. There's probably 3/4 of that classroom that has maybe not the same fears, but they're fearing something else too, right? So fear, man, don't let it get you. Don't let it get you down. Don't let it bury you. It's just an idea. It's a concept. It's your brain's way of trying to keep you safe when in reality, it's really holding you back. And who cares what others think about you, right? I mean, that's their perspective. That's their everybody's entitled to their opinion. But it matters what you think of yourself. It matters how you view yourself. So yeah, give yourself some love. Give yourself some grace. Don't let fear consume you. Fear of embarrassment. Fear of not pleasing. Fear of trying to please everyone, right? Everybody has their own sets of fears. And for me, it was the fear of what others would think about me. The fear of not being good enough. And I touched there on a second too, fear of, having to please everybody, and not being true to myself, not having the strength or the courage to say no. That was fear, right? That was fear trying to take control. Yes, just saying yes to avoid conflict, or to avoid growth, or to avoid uneasy situations, right? So fear, got to push it aside. You got to make that choice to improve yourself. You got to make that choice to just accept the fear, acknowledge it, but say, hey, you have no control over me anymore. If you want to get better, if you want to go to school, if you want to work out a little bit harder, if you want to go to church and grow your spirituality, grow closer to God, let that fear go, right? Just push it aside and say, yep, thank you, have a great day, and just do what you want to do. Don't let fear control where you want to go. Life's too short to let fear be in control. Next thing you know, you're going to look 5, 10, 15, 20 years are gone, and you're like, what just happened because of fear? And now I look at fear, I just go, man, what? Just another silly concept, right? Shouldn't fear. Now I know it's easier said than done. But just like everything else, it's practice, it's habits, it's books, it's mentors, it's hitting it with different avenues, different perspectives, telling yourself daily you are worthy, you are good enough, or whatever that fear is, saying you don't have control over me anymore. Recognize it and just say that. Fear, you have no control over me anymore. One of my daily affirmations I was saying there for a long time is I am fearless. I had to tell myself that fear wasn't going to control me anymore. My affirmations continuously change as I am growing in whatever season I am in, and I need to tell myself and remind myself. And there was a long time where I would say I am fearless as one of them. I had to tell myself fear has no more control over me. Man, I'm sweating. I'm anxious just thinking about what fear can do and how it kills things. It kills momentum, right? Fear. I had fear of getting the podcast going because of what others would think. Oh, it's not good enough. Oh, I have no followers. Oh, I'm not as I'm not, I don't have 200,000 followers. I don't have the perfect equipment. Whatever it is, right? That's all fear trying to hold me back. So what do? I pick up the microphone. I plug it in. I start talking. I post it. I say, fear, you know what? I recognize you. Thank you for trying to keep me safe, but I'm not going to allow you to stunt my growth. I'm not going to allow you to be who I want to be. I'm not going to allow you anymore to take control of my life. Fear. It's just a 4-letter word. That's all it really is. It's a silly little concept. Anyways, fear. Push it aside. Recognize it. Just say, hey, man, you don't have control over me anymore. Tell yourself, I'm fearless. Tell yourself you're worthy. Tell yourself, fear, you are not welcomed here anymore. All right. And when you can push fear aside and you tell fear that they are not control anymore, fear is not controlling your life, that's when you can improve yourself and improve your life. Until next time.